When Rosie became ill, we were 21, and it was the beginning of a lifetime of Care For Rosie. We had our first child when Rosie was 21 and I was 21, and that's when the trouble started. She started with a severe epilepsy. At 8 months pregnant, and we got her into hospital. They couldn't control the fit. It was either a fortnight or 3 weeks she was in that state. But when she came out of it, she was a different girl to what I married. She was full of anger. It was so bad that we couldn't have Trevor for the first 6 months of our life. He stayed with his nan. You know, in a woman's cycle, when it got to the peak of it, she was regularly having 9 fits a day through the cycle, and that would have dropped to 4 or 5 fits a day, you know, out of the cycle. So it was a constant thing. Attention to Rosie started when we got up in the morning, and it lasted throughout the day. The epilepsy brought on such things as falls. Rosie fell into a chair head first, and she broke all the vertebrae in her back. And from that time on, she was that shape. She fell once against the fireplace, and it twisted her face. And I took her straight down to the hospital because she was in so much pain. I was with her in the cubicle, and they asked me if I would leave. I left and walked into the hands of the police. The reported they thought she'd been beaten up, beat my wife up. It was heartbreaking. But that's the kind of thing it was. From one day to the next, in reality, you didn't know what was going to happen. Right up to the time she started with dementia and Alzheimer's. We've done quite well, and we've been able to keep Rosie comfortable until such times as the authorities took her off me. I didn't put her in a home. They took her off me. Told me lies to get her there. And I was left here. She was in there 3 years, just short of a week. And I saw her every day for 2 hours. It was devastating. I was left here in this house, all on my own. And all I used to do was get up in the morning and start preparing to go see her. And that, when I'd been, that was the end of my life for that day. It was truly terrible. You know, she died last November. And I haven't come to terms with it yet. When it comes to 2 o'clock on an afternoon, I'm thinking I should be going to see Rose. People have said, it's such a relief for you now. It's no relief whatsoever. It's left me devoid of purpose, really. I didn't want recognition for what I did. That was my life. My life was around them, not on me. And it's the same with the authorities. They don't recognise the work and the sacrifice that carers make. If there wasn't the carers and the authorities had to take up the slack that would leave, it would bankrupt the country. I've lost that caring responsibility, but it's still with me. I was a long-term carer, and I learned to recognise the problem others were having that I've already had. I have empathy for other people. I can see people and recognise their plight, and I can have empathy for it. In the mid-90s, I got involved with supporting young carers. I've gained an enormous amount of compassion. That caring attitude's carried on since Rosie died. It's difficult to say, but we never considered ourselves carers. It was part of my life. Rosie was ill, that was part of her life. When Rosie became ill, I expected to be a widower with a child, a baby. We went through crises throughout our life. My concern was making sure that Rosie was all right, keeping Rosie when she was ill and things happened, keeping her alive. Rosie died when she was 81. We succeeded.